90s electronic music and club culture were a staple for the decade, with its anti-minimalist posters. Hi, my name is Laura Kyung from Envato Tuts Plus. I've been working as a graphic designer for over 14 years, and in this video, I will show you how to make a flyer with an abstract 90s design. Before we begin, make sure to check out Envato Elements. With one subscription, you will have unlimited access to assets such as graphics, fonts, and photos used in this tutorial. There are millions of creative digital assets with simple commercial licensing, and you can cancel anytime. You can subscribe with the link in the description. For this tutorial, you will need these two assets from Envato Elements. We have this scenic view with a bronze statue, and the font Space Odyssey. Double-click to unzip the file. Double-click on the file, and then we can install the font. So head over to Photoshop and create a new document. Set the width to 1270 and the height to 1600. We can keep the resolution to 72 and click on Create. In the Layers panel, click on Create a new fill or adjustment layer and select Gradient. Click the gradient swatch to change the colors. And here in the gradient editor window, select this first swatch and change it to 00A175. Click OK. And the second swatch is 0500E8. Click OK. Set the style to linear and the angle to 0. I want to go back here to the gradient swatch to make sure that the opacity is at 100. Perfect. Click OK. Add a new layer. And with the brush tool, right-click, set the size to 250 and the hardness to 100. We will use 3 colors here to use with the brush. And first, we can set the color to a red, FF0055. Click OK. And you can randomly create stamps on the background. The second color is FF00DF, and we can do the same. The third color is FF6600. Feel free to stamp anywhere, as this is a creative poster. Make sure that you are selecting the layer we just created the stamps on, and head over to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur. In the Motion Blur window, check the preview box so you can see what we're doing. Set the angle to -50 and the distance between 14 and 1500 pixels. Feel free to experiment with the settings, as changing the angle and the distance will result in different outcomes. You can repeat the same procedure as many times as you want with bigger brushes or smaller brushes, and this will add another dimension to the poster. You can also use different colors if you wish. The key here is to experiment. To create the dust effect, we need to create something similar to the steps before. So create a new layer, and using the brush tool, set the foreground color to AE. Set the size of the brush to 500 and the hardness to 100%, and you can brush over the center of the page, almost like a little bean. While selecting that layer with the brush stroke, head over to Filter, Blur, Motion Blur, and depending on the distance we set, we will either get a blur that is barely there or one that maintains the original shape. So I want to maintain the angle here to -50 and the distance to about 500. Click OK. Now head over to Filter, Noise, Add Noise. And here we can set the coarseness of the particles. So I'll set the amount to 180, distribution to uniform, and uncheck monochromatic. Click OK. Set the opacity to 35%. We want a barely there look. Let's grab the statue image and open it separately in Adobe Photoshop. Go to the Layers panel, double-click on the background to unlock it. The new layer window option will open, and here rename the layer to Statue. Let's add a layer mask to this layer. And using the brush tool, set the foreground color to black and start brushing over the outside of the statue. We want to maintain only the statue to use on the Rave poster. Once we have that done, let's crop the image with the crop tool. Right-click on the layer and duplicate layer. Here I want the destination to be the Rave poster. Press Command T to transform. Here we can rotate and resize the statue. So rotate to about -45 degrees, and the size will be around 45% from the original size. So the advantage of working with layer masks is that we can hide and show parts of the image without completely deleting them. So in this case, I want to refine the statue by only keeping the face and masking out the neck area. So select the brush tool, make sure that you have black as a foreground, and start brushing some of these parts off. It doesn't have to be perfect, there is no right or wrong. Select the statue layer. Head over to Filter, Distort, Wave. Under Type, select Square. Set the number of generators to 20. Minimum 817, max 817. Under Amplitude, set the minimum and maximum to 1 and 2. And the scale to 100% on both horizontal and vertical. And click OK. Here I want to create a black and white layer that will neutralize the statue. So on the Layers panel, click on Create a new fill or adjustment layer. Select black and white. I want this black and white layer to only affect the statue. So while holding down the Option key, hover between the black and white adjustment layer and the layer below, and click once you see the arrow pointing down. If the poster is looking somewhat dull, we can adjust the brightness and contrast. On the Properties panel, we can adjust as much or as little as we want. Adding a separate layer is the best way to do it, so you don't have to compromise the rest of the poster. If the statue is over the dust and is hiding it too much, you can resize that layer. So on the toolbar, select the Type tool and add Shades of Electro Festival. That's the title of the poster. Let's move this layer up. And set the font to Space Odyssey. Let's open the Glyphs panel. If you don't have it open, you can head over to Window, Glyphs. We can go to the bottom and we can see all of the alternates. So if you select one letter, you can see all the character options for that specific character. So here we will change a few. You can also select the character, and depending on what version of Photoshop you have, you will get the alternate selection from there. Let's change here the color to black, and we can resize as much as little as we want. It's important to know that this is all experimental. We can change the brightness and contrast to fit the color of the font. Let's change the color to white, and that's much better. I want to adjust the slight lighting here. Duplicate the text box by pressing Option and dragging the text box down. Here we can add a few more details such as stages, bands, date, website, and address. Really feel free to create your own version. To rotate the text, press Command T for the Transform tool. Hold down Shift and drag to achieve an even rotation. Remember that you can select each character to access the stylistic alternate and choose any of the options. To save the file, head over to File, Export, Save for Web. Here you can set the quality and the image size. Save, and name your poster. Click Save. Let's check on the folder, and we have the poster right here. Awesome, and that's your 90s Rave flyer inspired poster. In this tutorial, you learned how to create an abstract poster but still have a compelling imagery and typography. If you liked this video and would like to see more, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. Don't forget to click the little bell icon to get notified of any new inspiring videos. If you're looking to learn even more, why not check out some of the other excellent tutorials that Envato Tuts Plus has to offer. My name is Laura Kyung, and from all of us at Envato Tuts Plus, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.